But ultimately, you need to find that quarterback that can be there for a long period of time. It doesn't matter if you don't have consistent play at the quarterback position. And when you find somebody that is top 10 quarterback that can help you continually win football games, you have to make that decision.
Are you saying that Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback?
I think he is. I think he's great. And especially when you compare him combine him with Kyle and you combine him with what we have, he's a heck of a quarterback. And we want him to be here for a long, long time.
There is a lot of buzz going around the 49ers, specifically the recent comments made by owner Jed York while at the annual owners meeting regarding his thoughts on Brock Purdy's play thus far as QB1 for the Niners. Brock Purdy's contract situation with the San Francisco 49ers is one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the 2025 NFL offseason. As of early April, here's a detailed breakdown of where things stand based on his current deal, performance, market trends, and the team's financial position. So with that being said, back at it talking Brock Purdy football. Let's get into it, y'all. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Ryan Tigey, back in action. With so much speculation and opinions on Purdy's upcoming deal, we first got to take a quick history lesson. And let's start with Brock Purdy's current contract. As we all know, Purdy was selected as the final pick number 262 overall in the 2022 NFL Draft. He signed a 4-year rookie contract worth $3.7 million with an average annual value of $934,000. Only $77,000 of that money was guaranteed. So here's how it breaks down by year. In 2022, Brock Purdy's base salary was $705,000. In 2023, it jumped up. His base salary became $870K. In 2024, this past season, he had a base salary of $985,000. In 2025, this upcoming year, he has a base salary of $5.3 million, the final year of his rookie deal. As I just mentioned, in 2025, Purdy is set to earn $5.346 million, a modest sum for a starting quarterback who's led the 49ers to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl appearance. After 2025, Brock Purdy becomes an unrestricted free agent unless he's extended or the team uses the franchise tag. As we all know, the recent news came out, the NFL cap for the 2025 season is $279.2 million. A QB1 for a team typically makes anywhere between 15 to 20% of the total cap. And Jed York's talked about it before. He likes to look at the team as a portfolio of stocks. It's not just about the dollar amount assigned to one particular player. It's about the collective and what percentage or what weight each player in that position holds.
I mean, from an asset allocation standpoint, it's the portfolio and how the portfolio performs.
So when you think about the dollar amounts that get floated around there, it's about percentage of the overall cap and what they're going to feel comfortable with assigning to Brock Purdy. Since taking over as the starter in late 2022, Purdy's been a revelation, to keep it mild. In 2022, Brock Purdy stepped in as a rookie, going 5-0 in the regular season and finishing 2-1 in the playoffs. In 2023, Brock Purdy led the NFL in passer rating with 113 and yards per attempt at 9.6, finishing 4th in MVP voting with a 13-4 record and a Super Bowl run. 2024, it was a down year by his standards. With a 6-9 record, he was injured. The team finished 6-11. He threw for 3,864 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now, of course, injuries to key players like Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, plus a dramatically regressed defense, it impacted the offense. But still, Purdy ranked 7th in QBR with a 67.9. Now, despite the 2024 dip, Purdy's overall resume as a starter for the 49ers is 20-13. And he is known for efficient play and playoff success, which of course positions him to be the franchise quarterback. Critics argue that he benefits from Kyle Shanahan's system and the elite weapons, but his stats and wins suggest he's more than just a product of his environment. He is a dog. Now, with any contract negotiation, there's always leverage. Who has the leverage? Well, that's where the 49ers come into play. The 49ers position, they have significant leverage. Purdy's under contract for 2025 at a bargain of $5.3 million. If no extension is reached, they can use the franchise tag in 2026, which would be projected to pay Brock Purdy $41 million guaranteed. And then again in 2027, roughly $51 million, keeping him through the 2027 season for a total of $97.3 million over the next 3 years. That gives them flexibility to delay long-term deal and to really assess his performance further. Now, Purdy's position. At age 25 years old, he turns 26 in December of 2025. Purdy is in his prime and has dramatically outperformed his rookie deal by a mile. And he's going to push for a market rate extension, reflecting top 10 quarterback play, which we heard Jed York feels he is.
Are you saying that Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback?
I think he is. I think he's great, and especially when you combine him with Kyle and you combine him with what we have. He's a heck of a quarterback, and you want him to be here for a long, long time.
Especially after Dak Prescott, who signed a $60 million deal with the Cowboys in 2024, and that reset the market. Brock Purdy's camp and his agent, Kyle Strojan, likely see his 2024 struggles as circumstantial and not a reflection of his ceiling. So now we got to turn to market value and projections. As we all very well know, the quarterback market has soared with recent contracts setting the bar. As I already mentioned, Dak Prescott signed a 4-year extension with the Cowboys for $240 million, averaging $60 million per year, with a $231 million guarantee. Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love all signed a $55 million deal on average. Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa, they recently signed new contracts averaging $53 million per year. And then, of course, the most recent, Josh Allen, 6 years, $330 million, averaging $55 million per year with a guarantee of $250 million that he signed just recently in March. Now, Sport Track estimates Purdy's market value being around $59.7 million. But of course, projections, they can vary. So the high end for a Brock Purdy contract would be anywhere from $55 to $60 million. That would align him with Burrow, Lawrence, and Love, given his efficiency and his playoff pedigree. The middle ground for a Purdy deal would be anywhere between $50 to $55 million, reflecting his 2024 year step back, but acknowledging there's still some upside with Purdy as QB1. And then, of course, there's the low end. That would be around $45 million per average, which would be a team-friendly deal and prioritizes security and roster continuity. Reports from March 2025 suggest active negotiations. We've heard with Lynch and with Jed, they're in discussions.
We have started negotiations. We're talking.
With a deal expected in the $50 to $55 million range before the 2025 season. A 3-year extension at $97.5 million has been floated as a compromise, matching what Purdy would make with the franchise tag path, but offering some stability, giving that all fully guaranteed. So what's the 49ers salary cap situation? The 49ers, believe it or not, they are well positioned to pay Brock Purdy. Their 2025 cap space projected is at over $64 million after carrying over $50 million from 2024, and this is per Sporting News. A new deal with a low cap rate, which is how they would structure it, like giving him a $13 million cap as an example, that would fit easily. And of course, we've all seen the roster moves. Trading Deebo Samuel, releasing veterans like Leonard Floyd, Javon Hargrave. That has signaled a shift to free up some cash to pay Purdy while also getting the team younger, like John Lynch has talked about in recent interviews.
At some point, you have to reset a little bit, or at least recalibrate. You can't just keep pressing the pedal. And I think there's some good that can come out of it. We need to get younger.
So what are some key factors in the talks? The first one is the length. A shorter term deal would range anywhere from 3 to 4 years. It keeps Purdy betting on himself, considering his age, for a bigger payday later, while a longer deal, 5 to 6 years, locks in security. A Mahomes-style 10-year deal, highly unlikely, but it isn't impossible. The second biggest factor is the guarantees. Purdy's camp, they're eyeing Allen's $250 million guaranteed as a benchmark, though I think he'll land likely closer to Goff's $113 million or Tua Tagovailoa's $93 million guaranteed. And then, of course, there's a team fit. Purdy might take a slight discount, $50 million versus $55 million, to keep the roster stronger, given his team-first reputation and the 49ers' history of rewarding their own. Like Nick Bosa, like George Kittle, like Fred Warner, like Brandon Ayuk, like Deebo Samuel. As of now, the 49ers and Purdy, they seem motivated to finalize an extension before the 2025 season starts, which is not until September. Here's what I think a probable deal looks like. I believe it'll be structured along the lines of a 5-year, $260 million deal, which averages $52 million per year, with anywhere between $120 to $150 million guaranteed. The impact this year, it'd be a low first-year cap hit, anywhere from 10 to 15 million, via a large signing bonus that's spread out over the term, as they typically do. The rationale, well, it balances Purdy's value, pays him top 10 money, with the 49ers need to maintain a competitive roster. This will keep Purdy in San Francisco for the long term, cements him as the franchise cornerstone, and avoids any uncertainty of a franchise tag standoff. Hopefully, and I believe the contract talks should wrap up by mid-2025, I think somewhere around the July period, aligning with the team's offseason program and draft plans. So despite all the wild numbers and terms that you hear out there, that is the contract I believe would be most logical for both the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy and his team. And of course, the recent news came out that involuntary OTAs is set to start middle to late May. I believe it was May 22nd. Hopefully the 49ers are able to get a deal done before that time so Brock Purdy can show up and this is all behind him. Because the last thing the 49ers want is to have another long contract standoff, hold in, hold out, like we've seen most recently with Brandon Ayuk. We saw it with Deebo Samuel. We saw it with Trent Williams. Hell, Christian McCaffrey didn't even show up to OTAs last year because he was working on a new deal. So the 49ers, they want to avoid that at all costs. But again, due to who Brock Purdy is, the money he's scheduled to make, if something's not done by May in voluntary OTAs, I still believe Purdy will be there. He may not be participating, but he'll still be there because he is a team guy first. So, all right, y'all, just had to jump on here and give an unbiased opinion. There's a lot of wild shit out there about what people think Brock Purdy should make. Should the 49ers franchise tag him and all that? We've heard enough from Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, Jed York. They all want Brock Purdy as a long-term quarterback. They have said it. Jed York believes Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback. So the $52 million average per year is something I think that fits right in the sweet spot of everything we've heard. And of course, ultimately to get the players on the field and competing for Lombardi. So, all right, y'all, I'll be back. But until my next video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit me up. Peace.